Alrighty, y'all, what's up? Welcome back to another American Reacts. We're looking at things about homes in the USA that puzzle foreigners. This is from Top 10s. This will be linked in the description down below so you can check it out on your own time if you wish. I tell you what, not much to say. Let's just get right into it. Very interested to see and definitely comment during this video or at the end. Comment down below where you're from and what about this stood out to you. How is it different in your country and so forth. I can't imagine too much being different, but I don't know. Let's see.
It's Charlie here, and today we're going to be looking at 10 things about homes in the USA that puzzle foreigners. If you live in the United States, I'm sure you see all the things in your home as totally normal.
Yeah.
But around the world, people have totally different houses. And if you're not from the US, then prepare to be stunned by the weird things Americans have in their homes. But first, why not subscribe and press the notification bell too. Coming up first, we have single faucets. In many countries, for example the UK, you have two different taps or faucets. But hop across the pond and there's only one. That's right, the American ethos is one faucet to rule them all. In many countries, you have to choose between washing your hands in boiling hot water or freezing cold water. Or if you're a genius, you can turn them on both at the same time and have medium water. But in the USA, there's just one faucet the water comes out of. This will be the case in almost every kitchen and bathroom in the USA. Instead of having one hot and one cold tap, there's just one. Usually you simply turn that one single tap to hot or cold. The reason why the USA only has one faucet is because their plumbing system is different from many other countries. In countries where there's two taps, water usually sits in a tank where it's not deemed to be safe. That's because the water's been sitting building up bacteria for too long. Next.
So that one, I hate to say it, but I think the US takes a cake on that one. Yeah, like one faucet makes sense, right? Less plumbing, you know, one faucet does the job. You pick your hot and cold. You have two levers, you know, hot, cold. You can mix them to adjust your temperature. And it's just straightforward. Two different faucets just seems like unneeded. Doesn't really make sense to me. Plus the whole sitting in a tank, getting bacteria thing. I don't know. I thought going in, you know, maybe some of these are going to be like, oh, wow, why are houses like that? The foreign design is probably way better. And it could be coming up. But that first one, US, I'm glad it's like that here. Yeah, US takes it on that one.
Next up is huge refrigerators. You may assume that refrigerators are all made equal, but that's simply not the case.
How huge?
One internet user said they did a house swap with their friends from the UK. When they got to their home in the UK, they actually had to call their friends and ask where the fridge was.
Oh my god.
When they were told, they were surprised, as they thought their normal fridge was some kind of mini fridge. That's because refrigerators in the USA are huge, or huge.
You know, I have seen that on a Reddit post before where someone from Czechoslovakia came to the US to see their friend or something, and they got like a picture, like they were getting pictures by the fridge. It was just a normal fridge to us, but it must have been huge to them. I mean, fridge, man, that's where you keep all your drinks and food, right? You got to have some space for that. How do you get away with not having a big fridge? That, you know, that one, again.
Instead of them having one door, it's actually common for them to have two. They may also be kitted out with fancy gadgets like ice makers. And some smart fridges now even have screens, but I'm pretty sure most people in America don't have them. The reason why is because American food is often sold in larger packaging. Not only that, people in America often buy more groceries than those in the rest of the world.
Yeah, I can see
also,
that.
Outside of the USA, many people leave foods outside of the fridge. For example, in many countries, eggs, butter, cheese, and beer are left out of the fridge.
Oh, yeah, that's true.
Next up is toilets. Now, for a very essential room in every house, the bathroom, there are actually a few toilet differences in the USA compared to the rest of the world. First off, American toilets are much lower down than the ones in Europe. European toilets are usually much higher than American toilets for some reason.
That's odd.
Some say the reason why America has low-sitting toilets is because it's more like how our caveman ancestors squatted on the ground. Yeah, it makes sense to me. It's actually more natural to squat near the ground to do our business.
Right.
For some reason, Americans have taken this into account, while the rest of the world has not. But that's not the only difference about American toilets. If you're not American and go to visit the States, you may assume your toilet's being clogged. This could be hugely embarrassing, but don't worry, it may not be the case. That's because in America, their toilet bowls are full of water. Instead of there only being a small bit of water, the toilet bowls are usually pretty full up. This prevents the bowls getting too dirty and staining the porcelain white.
Now that one, I've heard a lot about how like, oh, there's so much water in American toilets. I'm sure that is true, depending on where you're at, depending on the toilet, yada yada. In my experience, like in my house, and when we were just on vacation down in New Mexico, the state, by the way, it's a state, not the country of Mexico. Both, like the house we were staying at there and my personal house, have barely any water in the toilet. Like I would assume like foreign toilets. So I'm not sure that one's like totally accurate. I don't think all American toilets have a bunch of water in them. Ours don't, and they work just fine. So yeah, just something to know.
This also means that American toilets smell better and they don't have to be brushed as often.
That is
but
good.
the downside
is
there's an increase in splashing, if you know what I mean.
Yeah.
And finally, one extra difference
too.
about American toilets is sometimes there's a gap in the toilet seat. You may see these on public toilets or people's toilets in their homes. If you're not American,
normal.
you may ask, what is this? Well, the idea is, in public toilets, you're supposed to put toilet seat covers in. This provides some extra hygiene, but what about in your own home? Well, you can put things, for example, toilet seat covers over to make it warmer. That's right, you can actually buy fuzzy toilet seat covers to make your toilet seat warmer. Next up...
You know what? I feel like an idiot now. I never knew that. I didn't know it was not normal to have the gap he's talking about in a toilet seat. I thought that was normal. Apparently it is normal here and not everywhere else. But I didn't know it had a reason. That's for sure. I guess I've seen toilets with covers on them rarely. Not in, any of my personal toilets. That's pretty funny, gotta admit.
Is single floor. This one isn't about a single room in an American home. Instead, it's a fact about American houses in general. If you go to most countries, houses will have at least 2 floors, sometimes 3. But in the USA, despite their houses being very big, they're usually all on 1 floor. In the UK, these would be known as bungalows.
Wow.
They're actually...
Yeah, now my house, personal house, is unfortunately very tall, so maybe it's foreign style. It's like literally like tall, super tall, 3 stories. And it's not big. Don't think I live in a mansion. It's not. It's not wide at all. It's just tall. And I gotta admit, single story, what we call ranch homes, those are the best because, you got first floor laundry. You don't have to go up and down stairs all the time. Like, you're just always on level ground. I like the design better. I don't like 2-story homes or more. They get kind of old after a while, but I get it too. You get more house, more space, blah, blah, blah. Ranch homes are very common in the U.S., more so than 2 stories, but there is both.
Actually pretty uncommon, but in the States, single floor homes are the norm. In the USA, homes are usually spread out horizontally, but in many places, for example European countries, they're more vertical.
Well, yeah, there's less space I gotta build.
Next up is garbage disposals.
Fit them in. Oh, this one
Around
I've heard
the world,
about.
if you have food waste, you simply put it in the trash. But in the USA, you may
Throw it
put
in
it
the
down
sink.
your sink.
Yep.
That is because in America, they have something called garbage disposals.
Yeah.
Over 50% of American homes have a garbage disposal. But they're pretty much unheard of in every other country.
Really?
Some say these provide better sanitation and limit smells coming from your trash can. The reason why many countries don't have garbage disposals is because in-sink garbage disposals are banned in many countries.
Wow.
The reason why is because many countries don't want food waste added to wastewater. That's because it will use more energy again at a later date to separate it into sewage waste.
Oh,
and
okay.
some sewage plants are too small and would need an upgrade to do this.
That makes sense, I guess.
Next up, we have flags.
Flag.
If there's one thing Americans love, it's their flag.
Oh,
People
yeah.
from outside the USA will be stunned to know that kids actually pledge allegiance to the flag every morning in school. And if you
I
travel
remember
around
that.
the USA, you'll see many homes with at least one flag outside their home. This may be on a flagpole or hanging off their house. This isn't something you'll see in many countries, but the USA have a strong sense of pride when it comes to their flag.
I mean, yeah.
And finally,
have
on the
pride in
list
your
of things
country.
about American homes that puzzle foreigners, we have ACs. In many countries, having an AC is not very common. And in some countries like
Yeah.
the UK, you'll see things such as radiators to heat homes. But in the USA,
I mean, in the UK, it doesn't get hot, though, right? in most of the U.S. in summer, even the northern states, you know, you're going to see 95-degree days. And I'd say half the states reach 100, you know, pretty regularly. So.
ACs aren't just common, it's
Come
how
on,
they're
man.
used, which is odd. Instead of opening a window, taking off a few layers, or using a fan, Americans may keep their ACs running all through the summer. This is not the most cost-efficient way to do things, but it does feel really nice. One French man moved to Boston wrote online about his experiences in America in the summer. He said, "Why do you guys leave the AC on when there's so many windows?" He complained that many buildings he went into were actually too cold. And really, the reason why AC is left on is because it's all about the luxury.
Yeah, I tend to leave mine on a lot, but I don't keep it too cold. Like, by leaving it on, it's not really on, it goes on and then goes off. Just to keep a temperature, you know, I like to set it around like 71, 72 degrees Fahrenheit, which isn't too hard to keep. Some people's houses, or like he said, some businesses, some buildings, they have that AC cranked up, and like it is like 63, 62 degrees, 64 degrees Fahrenheit, and that's cold, man. Even if it's hot outside, that's cold in that building. I don't like that.
There's no need to worry about acclimatizing or changing clothing when you can keep your home exactly how you want it. Right. If you're not from America, then vote in the poll in the top right corner about the most weird thing in American homes.
Yeah, all those were very normal to me, right? AC, garbage disposal, you know, I guess the flag was the only one that wasn't too normal to me. You know, some people do that, but not everyone. I've never had a huge flag in my yard or anything. But yeah, the toilets were interesting. A lot of it's subjective too. It's not always like what they said. But yeah, I thought that was really interesting. I like doing ones like these, so make sure to, leave your suggestions down below if you want me to cover another video kind of like this. And of course, comment down below, you know, where you're from, what stood out to you on this list. Have you visited the USA from a foreign country and thought there was a bunch of weird stuff here? You know, please tell me down below. And of course, guys, throw a thumbs up on that video. I would appreciate it. It really does help the video out. Subscribe for more stuff like this. Check out the description for this original video and other ways you can support my channel. My name is Ian. You're watching IWrocker. Until next time, guys, I'll catch you later.